Yo, 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 we live on location today. The blackest one is here in Orlando, and we got a special Chi-Town friend. He's residing out there in that MIAO right now, but he from, New York City by way of Paris. You know what I'm saying? We got a GOAT in the game, man. It's one of our favorite players. Chicago, I know y'all gonna love it. Paris love it. New York City too, man. We got the legend. We got a real gooner playing hard. One of my most passionate players out here. He left it all on the floor. Chi-Town, stand up. We got Joakim Noah in the building.
Straight
Appreciate
up.
you, fam.
I appreciate y'all, man.
We've been watching your career for the whole time, man. We love the way you play the game, man. We respect it, man. We glad to have you on the show rocking with us, though.
Brought to you by Thigh Stop.
Who's the first person to bust your ass when you got to the league?
Ooh.
It was crazy because it was a guy I hadn't even heard of him before, and we played the Clippers, and I got to guard Chris Kaman. And I'm like, man, I don't even know who Chris Kaman is. Like, man, this is gonna be
He got work though.
Left, right,
left, right, man, on the block. It was crazy, and he was like, he was talking shit too. It was
wow, he crazy. Got here.
He's crazy with a Chris Kaman, man. Like I was like, man, I didn't even heard of this guy. He's giving me buckets. I was like, tomorrow, Yao Ming. The night after that, Shaq. I'm like, this shit doesn't stop.
Yeah, when that Shaq was different.
Who did you see early on to be like, man, I wanna pick up that ball and do that?
I mean, for sure, I had a lot of posters in my room. A lot of KG though, a lot of KG.
Yeah.
Ticket.
I had a lot of KG. I love Penny, White Chocolate.
Yeah.
Bubs.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, White Chocolate was one of my favorite players growing up for sure.
What made you choose Florida? Could there have been anybody else that you probably would have went to?
Once I went down there, once I talked to Coach Donovan, I knew it was a wrap because I was like, yo, I could get at the front of that press. We used to pressure the ball full court, and I was just like, just their style of play. And I was like, I was in New York my growing up, so I was like, you know what? I need to get in the sunshine a little bit, do my thing. get out of that.
Yeah, so that good weather.
I needed that. So I love Coach Donovan, and it was just, as soon as I got down there, it was grind.
Some of my favorite team in history, man, y'all squad, man. Them 2 years watching y'all play, man, makes you just really love college basketball and what college basketball means to the game. Like, man, watching y'all play. One of my favorite players on y'all team, though, was Corey Brewer.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he was the one, like that last piece that kept it all right, because he was the everything, man. He guard the hardest player. He do the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He hit the three at the late. Like,
Brewski was
explain that team to me. Explain Corey Brewer.
It was me, Al Horford, Corey Brewer, and Torian Green. We were roommates. Yeah. So we came in. We met in the gym. We stayed in the gym the whole time, and it was just like right away. We were playing twos every night. We were playing ones every night.
Y'all had 3 roommates in college? Man.
It was 4 of us.
What?
It was 4 of us. It was 2 rooms.
Y'all facility must have been right up in that floor. Y'all really living in the sunshine, huh?
Yeah, we were doing it right, man. We were doing it right. No car, no nothing, but just hooping. And that chemistry at the end of the day, we used to play pickup. You got Anthony Roberson, David Lee, Matt Walsh.
Hey,
all
Rose.
those guys. Hey, Rose. You already know. Peep Show.
King Jerry.
King Jerry. So we were like, yo, we're freshmen. We're like, yo, we want to play against like y'all, the starters,
Yeah.
We just busting their ass from the jump, So we were ready. after that first championship, they were like, yo, it's time for you guys to go pro. You know, I just got MVP of the tournament.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yo, it's time for you to go pro. You're going to be a top 5. I'll be top 5. Corey's going to be a top 10. And I remember I go to Corey's house after the championship. Corey came from the bottom for real, like trailer park, you know. He had a tree in the house, in the trailer, growing in the trailer. And he was like, yo, let's go back to school. That's how much we love playing with each other. He was like, yo, we can just wait till next year, man. Let's just keep this going. And see, I know that never happened before, where you had guys who could like leave and make millions of dollars and go to the league and end up staying. You know, I was all right because it was different for me because I wasn't worried about supporting my family, as much as it was for a guy like Corey. But for Corey to say, yo, we're going back to school, man, we all stayed another year and made history, you know what I'm saying? But it was real special times, for real.
How was that to win MVP of the tournament though? Like you amongst the names you amongst is like crazy. To win MVP of NCAA tournament, I know that was like surreal for you.
I mean, you know, now that basketball, you know, my NBA career is over and all that, you realize that all you got in the end is your relationships with your people.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. So it's like you look back and your accolades and all that. It's, you know, you look at it and it's just, it doesn't even seem real, you know. But what really matters at the end of this shit is you know, is your relationships, your people.
Yeah, the brothers you get. Yeah.
Tell me how it was like you said, after you come back, y'all win that championship, and then, you know, y'all decide to come back. Was it any point during that second season, because you know how everybody says it's super hard to repeat and all of that, and y'all did it. Like, was it any point where it was like during that second season, we're like, damn, like I should have went to the league, or damn, this is for the birds. Like when you, because I know for me, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna keep it real. For me, when I my freshman year, I could have left. Everybody said I should have left, whatever. I had several different times throughout my sophomore year where I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was looking at my dog, Corey Maggette in the NBA, you know what I'm saying? I remember vividly at draft day sitting there like, why did I come back to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, was it any moment where you felt like I should have left, or did the pressure get hard or anything like that?
For sure. It was high expectations. You know, I was supposed to be a top 3 pick. And if I had like 10 points in a game or something, it was like, we would win the game and it wasn't good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So expectations is, you know, it taught me a lot because it helped me in my career. Because, you know, if you want to win big, you're going to deal with expectations, you know. So I feel like that going back to school and having to deal with that really helped me with my getting ready for the next level. But for sure, you know, you miss a class, you got to wake up at 6 a.m. and
you're right.
You know, you running at 6 a.m. like, God damn, the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, that second run really helped me just understanding what expectations are all about, because we had to deal with that at a young age.
Yeah.
You know, and it definitely helped.
I agree, man. That's what I felt about I mean, y'all won. So I mean, y'all did the ultimate no matter what, you know what I'm saying, the up and down in the career. Y'all won at the end of the day. But for me, it was like, you know, like you said, you come back, it's definitely a mixed bag because y'all come back celebrated. Like I came back touted as first team All-American. I was all Royce. So I got that love and I got magazine covers like I'm sure y'all did. But then it was like that, like you say, the other side of it, like, bitch, I'm supposed to be in the league though. I'm waking up, running and doing this and that, going to class. Yeah. So I definitely feel you.
It's, you know, at the end of the day, it's all ego at the end of the day. And, you know, sometimes you gotta humble yourself. You know what I mean? Like my coach Donovan used to always say, humble yourself or the game will humble you.
Big facts.
Yeah,
that's
can't cheat the game. Can't cheat the game. You gotta do it the right way. That's the only way to do it. Torian Green, though, I got the opportunity to play with him in Portland. I was in Portland. He came to play, and man, he was dope. Cause I just watched them years with y'all, and man, that man used to hit big threes. He knew how to play the game and all that. He was just so small.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if he had another inch or two up on him, he definitely would have had a nice career in the league and so forth. Like, how was he?
Big heart.
Big heart.
Big heart.
Played
big
hard.
Heart. Like 6 foot, but a dog. Like,
yeah.
It was just, at the end of the day, your point guard, man, he got to set the tone. And man, that guy had the heart of he was a real lion, man. Like I remember the second run, so right before the tournament, we stinking it up. We lost like 3 in a row. So Torian's pops takes us to go eat. And he's like, yo, guys, I just need y'all to, get back on the same page. Look, I know y'all love each other. Expectations are high right now, but y'all got to give up the bullshit. And we're like looking at like, what is he talking about? He's like, Torian's pop, Sidney Green goes, I want you guys to give up. He's like, no sex for the whole tournament.
Oh,
I'm like, man, we in college at University of Florida. You telling us like we can't pop. Like we all looking at each other, dying laughing. Like, yo, you got it all messed up, Sid. But
man, you can't
yo, that's the type of you remember shit like this. You remember that, you know
right.
What I mean? Yo, you remember
crazy.
that. We were looking at him like, man, he's telling us like we can't even do the girlfriend thing. Like, come on, man. Come on, pops.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Hey, tell me this. Like, I want you to take me back before Florida and all that. Like, right? Like, you got a unique situation. Born in New York, but then went to France, and then you come back to New York. Yeah. Like, tell me how that was for you to be. You really don't remember when you was born, so you really just remember probably like growing up originally in France, and then like coming to New York. How was that transition, like culturally and all of those different things for you?
It was a lot, I was born in New York City, and then when I was about 3-4 years old, we moved back to France, to Paris, because that's where my father was from. My father was very famous out there, a tennis player, last French guy to win the French Open, and it was just it's tough to be the son of somebody who's that known,
right.
And my mother made a decision when I started playing basketball, went to an American school, started playing basketball. And she's like, you know what, if this is what you love to do, let's go back to New York, because you're going to be able to grow and live a normal life, and just not live in your father's shadow. And, it's the best decision that ever happened to me. Like, I had a normal childhood because of it. And if we would have stayed in France, I don't know if I would have ever been able to make it. My mom used to bring me to practice, and you can imagine moving to New York City. You're a little French kid speaking English with a French, with a French accent.
Right.
And I just got connected right away with some real ones, like Lenny Cook. Shout out Lenny Cook, Curtis Sumter. Some real ones who were coming up and who were Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, do or die. Like, they used to punch me in my chest and tell me like, yo, this shit good for you. You know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of energy.
Yeah, give you that tough love, nah.
For real. And thank God for them, because they're the ones who, who put the base together for real.
Yeah, like Lenny Cook was he was a beast. He was a beast. And a lot of people don't speak up on him, but I've been watching him, and he was good. I feel like I just feel like the show got to him, like the surroundings of the show. You can get caught up in that, especially if you don't got a good foundation around you to tell you like, nah, don't take that. Wait, you can get that later when you finish doing what you do.
And the thing is, New York is something else, man. New York is another
it is. And he in New York.
To make it out of there, that's the thing. It's like the hype is so real sometimes that's the story of Lenny. Is like, yo, the hype doesn't mean shit You have to come ready every night. As soon as you get caught up in the bullshit, it doesn't mean shit. Like, your work ethic has to be tight. You got to stay focused on what's important, playing your role, whatever that is, playing your part. Keep your heart right, you know what I mean? Because all the other shit, it doesn't mean that, it doesn't help you win ball games and nothing. So and those aren't the things you remember, you know, a cover or what, like, you're not thinking about that.
Like, I used to tell Sebastian that when Sebastian came to play with us, the hype was real around him. It's not too many guards to get drafted straight out of high school and come in and be big. But when he got there, I was like, all right, but you can't score like you was scoring in high school on this level. It's a 7-footer under there every fucking time. Like, do what you do best and get into the assist thing of it. And once he kind of figured it out, like, oh yeah, I need to really assist, it was like it's too late. Teams didn't have the same spark in him or think he can play the same way as he used to. But yeah, I definitely get to you when you say the hype.
The hype is, and I think that everybody that gets through,
especially in New York.
That's what I was gonna say. For you, like, at what point in high school was it where you started feeling like, all right, like, I'm good, I'm nice, and then I know with that, like we talking about in New York, at what point did that hype start coming for you, where you were being touted as this or touted as that?
To me, that's the thing. The biggest blessing was I didn't have that in high school. So it didn't happen. I got to ABCD real late, my senior year. Nobody really knew about me. I went to private school, and it was a whole different vibe. Like, me just going to the University of Florida was huge.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, going to
Billy Donovan like that. New York roots. That's how he kind of.
For sure. Okay. You know, those Irish guys, crazy, man. You already know.
One of the things I love about you is, like, you always play like you was for your team. It was always about the team. You always played the right way. You was the motor. You was like that backbone for every team, even from Florida to the Bulls to every other team that you played for. You always brought that energy. Like, who instilled that in you? Who taught you how to, like, just have that energy and ride for your guys instead of it being about me?
I think I really wanted to win. And I think that was the most, I know my heart was always in the right place when it came to playing the game. And, you know, I was never the most skilled. I was never a guy who could score 20 points or do it myself. I had to do all the, like, little dirty work and all this shit. So I had a good pulse on what I needed to do to try to affect winning. And that's it, period. Yeah. Like, whatever it takes, sacrifices must be made. Play your part.
Yeah.
Everybody got a role to play. Do it. Like, we were just talking about, that's what we were just talking about, Q. It's just like these guys, you come in from high school, you come in from college, and you used to being the guy, and now all of a sudden you have to change your role.
You gotta put in the role.
A lot of guys who had the talent to be in it wasn't in there because their mind wasn't right. So I think that, and I mean, that's why it's so important to have good OGs and, you know, good vets on these teams to kind of help these guys navigate that, because that's a learning curve for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, you coming in and, yo, you're not getting the ball 15 times a game, bro. Like, you play defense and go hit that corner three. You're gonna eat off that. Like, that's how we gonna get better.
I want to talk to you about your Bulls days, man. Like, that squad was like, man, with Tibbs and like you and Luol Deng, young Jimmy Butler, D Rose. Man, I just love the way y'all played, how y'all respected the game. Y'all always played hard, and y'all always seemed like y'all always left it out there. But them years that y'all was together and making them runs, like, how was that for you?
And those were special times, man, you know. And I feel like when we went out there, we tried to represent the city. Chicago's a tough place, you know. Weather crazy, people going through a lot of shit to divide the city in a lot of ways, and the sports is just so important to that city. It's what the sports is really what unites the people, you know. So I felt like when we went out there, we wanted to represent that. We wanted to we wanted to fight because we knew that the city needed that.
Yeah.
Yo, as a Chicagoan, y'all did that. Y'all repped the city the right way. You in particular, me being from there, having family there, having friends, everybody I know from growing up was there. Like they love the way you played. They love your passion. They love how hard y'all worked, how hard you worked and played for the city, and they knew how impactful you were. Me personally, my favorite story when I think about you is when they had the Peace game in Chicago, and you remember what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
the joint
man.
in Inglewood, in Chicago, and one of the toughest times during that time to have Bulls players that represent the city and what y'all meant to the city at that time. You, Taj, you doing what you did to get D Rose to come through. And it was like, other people was there, Isaiah, Twan, Bobby, amongst other people were there. And what resonated with me was when you remember we went down into the basement of that church and we got to sit and listen to those kids and listen to those kids' stories. These is kids, Black, that's really in it, really on the streets, really doing this, really living it right now. And to hear them share their stories, ranging from ages like 10, 11 on up to, anywhere 20, whatever. And you know how it is. You got ball players that come in, this, that, and the third. They always say what you think they want to hear or what you think the kids or whatever need to hear. What I respected and what stood out to me with you was that when you first stood up to talk, I'm listening. I don't really know you that well at that point. I'm listening. Okay, I respect you for being there, but I don't hear what you're gonna say. And what got me was because you was 100% blunt and honest. I didn't grow up like y'all. My dad was a pro tennis player. I had a relatively good life. I had my mom was in my life, all of these things, you know what I'm saying? I know that I had it well off compared to most of y'all. So I'm not about to stand here and tell y'all and act like, oh, I've been through it. Nah, I'm not. But you know what I'm saying? You was like, I can acknowledge pain, I can acknowledge suffering and people that need help. And that's why I'm here. I'm just here to help. I'm here to listen and be a help of any way I can. And I respected that. I took that with me. Like, damn, I remember telling some people when I left, like, yo, Noah, a real one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just me to you for my city, Chicago, I respect what you did, what you still continue to do. And it mean a lot, bro. You impacting, like, just your presence. Forget about throwing money at something, doing this. Like, you showing up, giving your time and being there personally and sharing what you shared and doing what you do, that's huge. That's what we need.
I appreciate that, man, because those were, to me, the most impactful things that we did. They weren't on the court, they were off the court.
Straight up.
And like, just to be a part of that and do a peace tournament when we all know Chicago has a real violence issue, and just being able to do something that's just bigger than the game. And I'm really proud of that tournament that we did, the peace tournament at St. Sabina, bringing the guys together from all different backgrounds. And people didn't think that we could do that.
Yeah.
And, you show up, you do some things, you listen, but at the end of the day, it's the progress. Just they keep going. They keep going to St. Sabina's. They keep playing against each other. So now when they're back in the street, they have a place where they connect. You already know how divided it is. So just to be able to have the guys connect, and like a place like even bringing guys to the game, how there's not a lot of places where you can bring guys from different backgrounds where they could just chill and be on the same page.
And that was what was big. That's what I was going to inject and say. That when we say bring together, these were rival games and rival situations that was going on that we brought. And that's why it was called and deemed a peace game, because it was, Inglewood was deemed an area where it was so many different factions and different things going on in such a close quarters that it was like you needed some type of peace or some type of something to calm down, because it was such a inflamed situation going on. And like that was something where it was something rare where you get those different factions to come together on those terms, and there's no violence when it's going to be all of these different people there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like you said. And I see Taj still playing. I see D Rose still doing their thing in New York. And I know that was something that impacted them because I look at Taj and what he's doing in New York. He brought that same energy, and he's doing it over there. So, as I'm proud of that. I feel like that tournament really brought a lot of good. But we just got to keep, the fight never stops. So at the end of the day, it's about just knowing where you stand on shit and doing your best, because it's for sure sometimes it's overwhelming. But these situations are overwhelming. But at the end of the day, we use our platforms to do good shit,
Straight up.
Seeing D Rose and Taj and with Tibbs at the top, to see that energy over there, what they bring, how is that to see that? Remind you of the old days?
Honestly, I'm proud of those guys, man. Like I see Pooh with everything that he's been through, just to see him happy playing the game, that says a lot about who he is, because he went through a lot, in terms of expectations and having to deal with all that shit. He could have been bitter about how some of the things went, and I feel like I just see like real happiness in his life, and I think he has real good balance in his life. So I'm super happy for him. And I know everybody loves playing in New York, but to see them be competitive and Tibbs be able to bring his system and Taj be an OG and like doing it right, doing great things on and off the court. Mm-hmm. Shout out Taj Foundation doing great work in Brooklyn. I mean, I'm super. Those are my guys. So see them be able to do that in New York and bring happiness to the people, that's, to me, I'm super proud of those guys, man.
Take me back to Chicago, right? I know that, like you spoke on D Rose, Pooh. You one of his boys. Give me your perspective when the first injury happened, and take me through from your side. Your being on the team, your teammate view, and your perspective of what he was going through and how he had to, just maneuver through all of those different things. Like you said, from people saying this and saying that, the stupid shit, from the little idiots on the internet talking crazy and doing memes. And just tell me how it was from you, somebody, because I know you somebody who's passionate about, number one, your teammate, but more so somebody who I know that you look at as like a friend and a brother. So just riding. Yeah, exactly. Seeing that and experience, like, tell me what your perspective was with that.
Well, it was definitely tough because, you look back at that time, we were the number one team in the NBA. We had the best record, playoff start, game one. Like, I mean, we are on a mission. We just lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to Miami. Mm-hmm. We're coming in. We got ripped now, and we're like, yo, this is the year. This is the year we're getting this shit. And then, towards ACL, I think that everybody kind of remembers like where they were, what they were doing when shit happened. It was like one of those moments when I heard he tore his ACL. Like, I didn't even think much of it when it happened. I thought he was okay. A couple of games, he'll be back. Fourth down. But it was depressing as hell. Just seeing somebody that he was a guy. Every time he walked in the gym, he brought hope to the city. But every time he got onto the court, you felt like you had a chance to win the chip.
Right.
Like nobody was messing with this boy. Like he was putting fear in everybody.
Straight up, real talk. No cap, no none of that. That's real.
And like also real humble with it. Real humble with it.
Humble as they come.
Like
too humble.
Shy to do an interview type when he came into the league.
We still trying to get him right now.
It's tough. But I think now he's able to express himself a whole other way than in the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that. Yeah, it was tough. I'm just saying, just from the standpoint, like you say, his personality is just, I'm just chill, low key over here. That ain't really me.
Chill, laid back, won't talk much, but he'll still be like, yo, I'm the best motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, He'll say some shit like, you'll be like, damn, fool, like, yo, chill.
Chicago.
Just
it's still in them. It's still in
supreme confidence. Quiet, humble with it, but
we bred that way.
Yo, for sure.
It's there, whether I say it or not.
Talk about the MVP season though, like how he just stormed through the league and was just crushing everything. Like folks didn't want to guard him. Like they didn't know whether we were gonna put a bigger guy on him or stick with the point guard.
No, it was bad. They had nothing for him. You know, there was nothing like him. Yeah. Like the athleticism, just he could shoot it, and then like he really had the city behind him. The energy in that building in that time it was so special, just being able to get #1 pick from Inglewood, from the hood, and you playing for your city, like in that kind of energy for Chicago with everything that's going on in Chicago, and you repping that, like, man, I was so proud to be a part of that. I had no choice.
Yeah. Look, bro, I'm from the crib, and I don't even, you know what I'm saying, I don't know D Rose like that, and I never said, you know how people cat, like, that's not like that. Like, obviously through basketball and through Chicago and through knowing who he is, I know who D Rose is, he knows who I am, but we didn't never like rock like that. He obviously much younger than me, and like we never connected for whatever the reason like that. But bro, sitting there watching what he did, the way he did it, the way the city he resonated with the city and they connected, and just to watch, like, bro, that was what me, Twan Walker, D Wade, every Chicago kid wished they could have did what he did. Mm-hmm. Anybody take from Isaiah Thomas, the greatest, on down to the whoever. You feel me? Like, he did that. MVP, youngest, king of the city.
King of the city.
Didn't
even want it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, it just happened organically, because it was just the way he was just hooping. He was representing that. But his energy was never like king, like none of that. It was it was humble, like humble approach. Like he's checking you in your eye, like, yo, what kind of person are you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Humble with it, like, yo, he's really checking you as a person. Not like he was never on some like, I'm that dude. Like, no, never. That was never none of that. That's why I love him to this day, because it was never that kind of energy.
How did y'all feel, you know, as a team? Like, I feel like y'all was the first team since MJ and them to really capture the city. Like, you know what I'm saying? They captured the city. They had the post. They had, you know what I'm saying? Like,
chance.
Yeah, you know how it is in Chicago. We a huge sports town. Like, the Blackhawks was winning chips. The Sox and the Cubs won. Like, you know how we are about our sports. And the Bears are the Bears. Like, I felt like y'all were the true first team since the Bulls. I mean, since MJ's Bulls, to like where the city was like, y'all had the heartbeat.
On fire.
Y'all, like, how did that feel? Because I know how the city is. The city is love. Like, for y'all to be there and y'all and you know, you was one of them focal points. How was that? You were a beloved Bull. Like, anytime you go back to the arena, it's nuts.
Nah, it's, you know, I went there not long ago to go watch a game. Like,
yeah, I just saw that, right?
Yeah, and just driving by that arena, I was like, man, yo, the amount of days I used to get to this arena and just be geeked. I'm talking about ready to run through a wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You couldn't say shit to me on game day. Like, I was an animal.
Zone.
It was just like, man, that state of mind that you had to go to, you know, it's hard to explain, because you can't feel that in anything else that you do in life. Like, you know, you playing in front of 25,000, going crazy with that much hope. It's hard to describe, man.
How was it for you when you transitioning from the Bulls and moving on? How was that for you?
It was tough, because that's when the injuries started piling up, and I signed a big deal with the Knicks, so expectations were high, and then I had 3 surgeries in 1 year, and you know, it was just, I guess sometimes it's you know, the cards you're dealt, you know, but You know, it was like a blessing in the sense that I got paid a lot of money, but at the same time, it was like, damn, I can't bring it like how I used to, you know, like injuries are a motherfucker, man. And it's part of it. It's part of growing up as a man as well. You know what I'm saying? Being able to say, you know what, I'm not the same guy at 32 than I was when I was 25.
Right.
And that's something that we all go through in the journey. Is like, can you handle that? Can you not? And there were probably some times where I couldn't, but it was a learning curve.
Right.
And all about, it's like we talking about that ego shit and just like letting that shit go and just being honest with yourself and where you're at. And it was tough, but it was a tough transition. But at the end of the day, like I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Tell me this in New York, right? Because when I was in New York, I dealt with kind of the same thing. I got traded there. I was in the second year of my big contract or whatever. So you get there, like you said, expectations is higher than any place you ever been. This is New York. They gave you such and such money, so the fans, everybody else expecting what they expect. Tell me this: did you ever, while you were getting those injuries, did you ever find yourself forcing it, pushing it, trying to go through stuff and making stuff possibly work? Because I did the same thing. I had a herniated disc in my back. Probably should have did the surgery like in October, not October, probably like November, maybe December. Didn't do it because, like you say, the pressure, high expectations, you getting this knick-knack injury, they gonna talk about it every day in the paper when you get hurt, especially somebody like you or me that's making a lot of money. So it's like you get all of those pressures. Did you feel that in New York? Like, damn, like, and just the type of person you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got this big bag and it's like you said, it's part of that ego thing. Like, I'm supposed to bring it. I'm supposed to be doing. Did you find yourself trying to push it and doing that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that I always did that. And that's something that I wish that I was a little bit smarter in my career. Just like, I think they do a good job now of just monitoring the players a little more.
Yeah.
But when I was playing, when it was kind of just, if you can go, just go. You had nobody, it was tough, man. I think that, I was taking a lot of, things to cover up the pain, masking stuff. And, it's a slippery slope at the end of the day if you want to play that game. But at the end of the day, like, people show you love because you want to win and you're going to fight, you're going to play through all that shit. And I got a lot of love in my career for that because I was playing through all that stuff and people respected that I would go out there and play. But it's a balance because after a while, like, yo, it's your body. This shit gonna break too. You know what I mean? You can't just keep masking this stuff, So, so it's at the end of the day, this is the life we chose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we come out of like we just went to war. That's how we been feeling, because these knees don't work to this day. They still be still.
You know what one of my other favorite quotes of you was when you talked about your time in New York, when you was just like, man, I was too lit. Like, that was the most real though. Like, can you just expand on that? Like, first of all, I respected it for the realness of it. And it was par for course for you. You always keep it 100, but like, just tell, because I for one, I felt like I was lit in New York too. I had reasons and stuff.
I think it was misunderstood because, like, some people say, like, I'm lit, like, oh, I'm so lit. Like, I'm not saying it like I'm so lit, like, look at me, I'm so lit. No,
right.
I'm saying it like I'm lit, like I was fucked up.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was injured and I'm dealing with 3 injuries. I'm taking, drugs to deal with the pain. Like, I was lit. I was fucked up. That's the shit I had to deal with. It was not an easy thing to get out of.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes have to go through that.
Real talk.
You think you're just getting surgeries and what? Like, I'm trying to get through this shit. Like, you guys, they talking about this shit like, oh, he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. Like, fuck you mean? Like, yo, I'm over here in bed, like you talking about 4 to 6 weeks. Like I gotta go up against the baddest, fastest motherfuckers in the world. Like, and I'm in bed, like I can't move my shoulder, I can't move my knee. Like I had 2 at the same time, and that's what I'm talking about.
That's why I said now, like for people to even be speaking on people missing games or so forth on, like when there was a time where people should have missed games back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, like you don't know what a player going through. You don't know what a player going through off the court or going through in life or just with their family or anything that they might need that day off or need that time off. So we're in a new day and age, man. Players go through a lot.
But you know what? At least, you know, it was a different era, but I feel like the players are more protected. And in a way, I think that it's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, I think that we got a lot of our respect off of like playing through shit.
Like, but I think it's just the media thing or the smart thing, but
it's just the media. The media
you know
be on your ass about it. It'd be like, man, what you talking about?
Yeah, but now it's like I feel like organizations do a better job of like
protecting them. They put people out. You managing this, we monitoring this.
Shit, he played 3 games in a row. We want to sit him. Like shit, we give him the millions of dollars. Why can't we sit this value?
No, back then it was more like, we paying him $1 million. He better go out there. And
back then it's like let Kobe play with a broken finger.
They more smart about their investment these days.
Exactly.
Longevity.
One of the guys that don't get talked about, and I thought he was dope. I had the opportunity to talk to him when he was at McDonald's game, but that's Luol Deng. And like, you know, he got a kind of like a bad rep at the end where they just sent him home with his money. Like Craig wouldn't let him play when he still could play, but I be seeing some of the stuff he doing over in Africa and how he moving. Like y'all had a special group. Y'all not only did y'all have a special group on the court, y'all had a special group off the court with all y'all from Taj and all y'all doing what y'all doing. But just Luol Deng, because he don't really get brought up and he be making big moves and he be doing good thing. And he was nice on the court that people don't really say.
Loser ultimate warrior, man. He would play like 45 minutes and just hit big shots, lock up, always playing. I mean, this guy was a real soldier, you know what I mean?
Real talk.
And real good soldier, like really good human being, man. Somebody who's doing so much great stuff on the motherland where he's from, back in Africa, man. And, you know, doing a lot of grassroots work. And somebody who connected himself with a lot of really smart people, a lot of real estate guys early on in his career. And just, you know, you hear about guys getting into stuff like that later once basketball is done.
Right.
But he was doing it all along. So he's somebody he knows what he's doing when it comes to that paper. And you like to see that from a guy from South Sudan who was a refugee in Egypt and somehow made it to the Chicago Bulls and have an all-star career and do things that he did. That's a crazy
story.
Like, for real, man. Like, and I had lunch with him like a couple of days ago. Like, this guy's just, he's the man. You know, he really carries himself like a king. Shout out to Luol Deng, man. For real.
Yo, tell me this. How was it for you the first time you made All-Star? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that you say that ain't what you play for and that ain't where your heart at, but like a part of you has to acknowledge that like, yo, this is huge. Like, you know what I'm saying? Growing up to a kid, now you walking in that locker room, seeing your jersey hang and you on that stage. Like, how was that? And you did it twice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody said, oh, you could fluke
amongst the best.
Yeah, one, like you did it, you know what I'm saying? You did it twice. So how does that feel to be known like as a former All-Star? That's the way you should be introduced. That's real. Former defensive player of the year. These is facts. That ain't, you know, that ain't opinions. Those is facts.
I think it's just more when you see your loved ones in that crowd and you see how proud they are of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and you see it in them. Like, my pops came all the way from France. Like, he was sitting next to my coach from New York City, that first coach that believed in me. Shout out Mr. Green. You know, Flushing Queens, Astoria Projects, you know, like people who really put that working for you. Like I used to sleep on his couch, you know, when I was 14, 15 years old, and he was the one who was like, I'm going to take you to the next level. So when you have people like that who believed in you when you were young, and they sit in the crowd and they watching you with the best players in the world, you know, catching pocket pass, throwing diamond, whatever, you know, it's, you look up in the crowd, you see them proud, like,
right.
That's what I remember.
No,
that's dope.
Like defensive player, what this is a conversation that's not for Q, this for real defenders. Defensive player of the year, when you won defensive player of the year, I know like with the defense, you really, when you win that, it shows that what you bring.
In that right there, though. We just
won the defender. You shot threes. You won the defender.
Hey, Joakim, ask him who win in one-on-ones. I lock his ass up, though.
Y'all still playing? You guys still playing?
You don't want these problems.
I ain't playing.
You don't want these problems.
You just heard him say his knees don't work. I just played in the Big Three way more recently.
I got one game a month for him anytime he want it. But like being a defender, as I was saying, us defenders,
out of his ass.
You know what I'm saying? To get, you know, just to get that accomplishment. This is a two-part question. I want you to talk about how it was to, you know, to get defensive player of the year, which that's a big accomplishment for what you bring into the table. You know what I'm saying? And to see these guys now in this day and age, that's a lot of these guys now are doing the exact same thing that you're doing now. You know, a lot of centers didn't know how to adjust to that, but what you brought to the table defensively, and the Rudy Goberts and the Capellas, like these guys are getting $100 million contracts now, and what they're doing is what you was doing. So how is that to see the guys doing that?
I mean, to be honest, that award it's a special award. You know, obviously you get the DPOY, and as a big man, you got to be the voice of the defense.
Real
talk. You're the backbone of the defense.
Yeah.
But the truth is, none of this shit worked without Tom Thibodeau. None of this shit worked out without Kirk Heinrich on the ball.
Dog.
Picking up full court.
Full court.
None of it happens without Jimmy Butler, you know, Keith Bogans. Bo shot.
Shout out Bo.
Shout out Bo. Dwayne Reedy.
All these guys though, man. You know, these guys were grinding every day.
Yeah.
Hard as hell. And so we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
That's what made it possible, because at the end of the day, you're not having a good defense because I'm not out there blocking 5-6 shots like Rudy Gobert, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm doing my thing, but it was just I was doing my work early, calling that out early, and just
linebacker back that big.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, just being that captain, captain of the defense. Like you always in the back of it, and like I always like defensive player of the year. You know, that shit is well earned. Like when you see a team that's they top in defense and you shutting teams down, not really shutting them down, but you keeping them low in points. I like when that shit get accomplished, you know, get acknowledged. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, man. Like at the end of the day, that award, it should be that was defensive team. Because like, yo, okay, you get that award, but like, yo, Kirk Heinrich, I mean, come on now, y'all played against this guy.
I've been playing against Kirk since the AAU days.
Kirk been like that. Down to him and Nick Collison, boy, ain't no back down to them boys.
Yeah,
that was he had a heart of a lion. Man.
Yeah, them Iowa boys, man.
Let's not forget, like, let's give credit when credit is due. And I just, you know, this is not an individual game. You get awards and all this, but like, to me, the award was really like, you got to hold guys accountable. Like, yo, you fuck up on this defensive assignment, like, you got to let that person know, like, yo, hey, I'm going to be there for you, but you got to do your job.
Yeah, you got to keep on coming. You got to keep on running around that screen.
Hey, listen, one of my favorite clips of you, this was what I always loved about you, your energy and how hyped you was. Like, I always said, like, you was one of them dudes that, like, you was impactful. Like, you might have, like, you could have 9 and 14 and, like, 7 assists, and that'll be better than somebody that might have had, like, 18 and 6, because you made them plays at the right time. you might have dove on the floor and got the whole fucking building going crazy at that right time, and it just bring that energy. But like, I loved your energy. One of my favorite clips was, I can't remember. You might remember when I say this. Like, y'all had made a big ass play. You wasn't even in the game. You was on the bench, but it was like a big play. Everything was rallying, and you giving everybody fire, getting hyped. And one of the young boys that was on the court ran by you and didn't see it. And you was like, the fuck is wrong with him? You was like off that shit for like the next thing, like the camera's on you and you stopped everything. You was hot, like, yo,
I remember seeing
that. Like, for real, Tony, shout out Tony Snell, man.
Tony Snell, that's who it was. Tony Snell. They got Lil D Miles, man.
Yo, how I make my little that. I make my little bullshit right hook, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We up, I don't know, I think we go up 6 or something. There's like a minute
so
left.
You were in the game. I couldn't remember.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm like, damn, I just made my little jump hook. Yeah. You know, that might be game winner right there. Like, let's get the fuck out this place, man. Let's get out this building, man. Bulls W. Man, I'm getting everybody hyped. Tony Snell just walked by like, he's sleeping, man. He already in the bus. I'm like, man, I let him feel that. But that's what it's all about, you know what I mean?
Word, straight up, I love it.
Oh, you gotta teach him that shit. No, be engaged in the game.
Like,
you gotta be engaged in the game.
Well, I loved it.
Everybody on the bench get engaged in the game. That's what winning is. One person not engaged in what's going on, y'all like the winning team. Winning teams, you know, everybody on the team is engaged.
I was sitting there like, yo, I love Noah. Like, I remember rewinding and watching the class. Say, yo, look at Noah, he going on. I loved it. I promise you. I was like, exactly. Get your ass up and get hyped too.
Get your ass up, exactly. Get your ass up, get hyped. But you know, as you get older too, I was playing. So that 14th man, 15th man job, I didn't realize how hard that job is.
That's a hard job.
That's a hard job.
I did that in Orlando.
Yeah, that's a hard job.
Shout out your brother C-Do. Me and C-Do was 13, 14, 15, whatever you want to call them. We was down there. We was lit though. We was like you. We had, hey, let something happen. We air guitar. We was at that point. I had a better mind. I had my mind wrapped around things. I was in the my wife was pregnant. I was in a happy place. We was having fun with it though. We was them boys. We was over there turning up every time.
I believe that. Shout out C-Do.
Shout out C-Do.
That's my class right there. McDonald's 2000. C-Do.
Hey, man, I just want to say it's super cool, man, just being over here talking about basketball with you guys, man. You guys, this is dope. You know, sometimes you forget, it's like you're over here at the house and the kids don't give a shit about basketball. You know? It's just like, man, it just feels good sometimes to, you know, talk about those times and just acknowledge, like, the fight, you know what I'm saying? All the work that you put in. It's really dope what you guys are doing.
Yeah, the kids' knowledge be a little off. They don't give a fuck about basketball, and then they be in whole arguments. My son came to me and was like, Dad, I told them that you was better than Michael Jordan when you played, wasn't it? You called me. I said, no, don't argue with nobody about that no more. Like, what you doing? You set me up. But yeah, start bench cut. Tim Duncan, KG, Rasheed Wallace. Who you start, who you bench, who you cut.
Bless his heart.
Jesus, guys, come on, man. I'm starting. You said Tim Duncan,
KG,
who else?
Rasheed. Yeah.
I can't cut Sheed though, man. I can't cut. I love Sheed. She was the only one. She was the one. He would catch it on the post on you and tell you what he was gonna do, and still give you the bucket.
High arc shot all in there.
Nah, I'm not. I can't play that game, man.
You're just gonna bring him off the bench.
Nah, you can't. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You ring 20 times.
You can't. Tim Duncan, you can't take it. You can't. And KG, like,
you can't do it.
Either. I can't do it, man. I can't play this game, man.
Who was some of them matchups though? Us being defensive players. Who were some of them matchups that used to look forward to, or you know, like, man, I got to bring my A game on defense when we played against him? Because I know some of the matches I used to see you play against Zebo. You know, that's my guy. I used to watch Zebo all the time. I used to see y'all bumping and all that stuff. Like, but what were some of the matchups that you look forward to having, and some of the ones like, oh man, I know it's gonna be on.
Zebo was always a good one because Zebo was so connected with Chicago. You know what I mean? He got a lot of love in the streets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it was like a lot of the people who I used to do the work in the community with were real close with Zebo.
Yeah.
So the game, it was like always a game within the game because all the guys used to be at the game when we would go. So it was, you know, it's the game within the game.
Yeah, you already know.
But then, I mean, of course, man, like, you know, every time you played the Miami Heat, you played Cleveland, every team that LeBron was on, it was always a war. Those are the games that you pencil on the schedule. You know, you put that circle. And Boston 2 KG, those was, you know what I mean? And then as soon as you chilled though, and you were like, you exhaled a little bit, like, that's really when you was getting your ass bust though.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
One of your funniest quotes to me, well, not quotes, I guess it was one of your press conferences when you was in Cleveland and you was like, you know, I don't know if you was even in Cleveland. I know you was talking about Cleveland. You like, whoever said they want to go on vacation? Okay, tell me about that. Like, I love that you was one of them dudes that never cared about, like, you know, like, I get it, whatever, they the guy, but I'm not about I don't care. Like, I'm not bowing down. I'm coming straight at you and whatever. And like, I'm gonna be honest, like, this is no disrespect, Cleveland, but what you were saying was true. Like, I'm sure D-Mouse can speak on it. He played. You can answer this after the fact, but like, for those of us that didn't play there or don't know the city, it's not like somewhere it's gonna be like, oh man, I gotta take this vacay to Cleveland, like you were saying. So when you said it was hilarious to me. It was like hilarious to me, and I felt why Cleveland fans would be mad, but I felt why everybody else could see what you were saying. So it was like one of them things. Like, if they're not talking about your city, it's funny, but if you're talking about city, like, hold on, but like. I just love that you was never shy about being up in your face, and you knew, like, so what? I'm not scared to say something about these people, and they not that good or not better than me. So, like, I love that about you. But just tell me what was going on when you was giving that little spiel about your feelings about Cleveland.
Yeah, I was in Tulum last week in Mexico.
Oh, look at
so
that.
I'm walking in Cajamarca. That's Pablo Escobar's old house. So they made it into a hotel. So I'm in there just chilling, and some dude comes over. He's like, "Yo, you Steven Adams?" I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, "Nah, bro." Like,
you thought you was
like, you look like Studer. You look like Steven Adams. I'm like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "I'm just chilling, bro. Like, all good." He's like, so I just, all right, brother, keep it moving. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm from Cleveland. And I was like, oh, okay. I see this dude's like,
he's trying to mess with you.
This dude trying to clown me and shit off the Cleveland. I'm like, damn, bro, that was 10 years ago, and y'all still on that. Like, people always on that, yo, Cleveland on vacation. But what it is also, people be on that crazy. But what it is just LeBron is, you know, he's a great player, you know, and I just wanted everybody to know when we played against him that there wasn't going to be like, we was going to go at him. And it wasn't
like you're supposed to.
It wasn't going to be no love fest. I hated that love fest shit. Like, that shit drove me nuts. And I mean, it is what competition is not always pretty, you know, that shit. And I think that's what people like about it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always bring out like
the best of
you. It's ugly sometimes, you know.
It is. Like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what makes sports. And like you know how it is. Like, sometimes, like, I don't know dude, Like, I don't know LeBron. People always say like, man, like you a hater and all that. Like, no, I just wanted to win. I wanted to win. That's all I cared about. At the end of the day, like, you gotta give credit when credit is due. But I'm not when I'm in those lines. There's none of that. There's none of that.
That's what I appreciated the most about your game was that because I related to it. I went the same way. Like
all real ones relate to you. You know what I'm saying? Like all real ones relate to you the way you play.
It's people right now on the internet that say, "Oh, y'all LeBron hit." Like, nah, bro. Like, what you think? Like, whether it was Kobe, whether it was whoever, when they was that dude, like, I was coming the same way. You ask anybody, look at it, whatever you want to say. One of my things, I was gonna try and thug you. That's what I was gonna try and do. I was strong. I was gonna try. That was one of my advantages. If you was more skilled than me, I was gonna try and do that to get some type of advantage. So what? But like you said, I always love the fact that, like you said, well, about to be no love fest. Like you say something or you do something that I deem whatever, I'm gonna act like I always act. Just like I'm not about to treat you no different because you Kobe, LeBron, or whoever. I'm not a hater. I'm who I am. This is what competition's supposed to be. At its highest and most purest, the most competitive people. You're not about to see them be happy when it's that time. Like, you know what I'm saying? We be happy when it's over and we won and we can look at you. But like, if we didn't win, I mean, I might not want to go out to eat with you after this or whatever. Like, I'm going to be, depending on what it was, I can't be around you right now. If it's a regular season, it's like, okay, we could chill. I done had this many years and I'm used to it. But like, man, you just put me out the playoffs. Well, we might have to wait for a week or so for you know, I might have to.
They never wanted me and Q to play. They never wanted me and Q to play against each other because they say we used to go too hard, like we don't even like each other.
I gotta be able to
but it was no love lost. He knew I wasn't. It wasn't none of that. But he know that I'm gonna try to fuck him up as well as I know that he gonna try to fuck me up.
Mm-hmm.
And we gonna leave it out there, and then we gonna walk away from it. So they used to always be like, "Nah, y'all can't play."
That's interesting though, because like now you look back and you know I don't have that. Now I'm about trying to do things where like bring people together.
Yeah. You have that competitive in it. It's gone.
it's like it's not it's gone for real.
It's gone.
It's not the same. Like I can't be competitive with like people around my house. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like I don't want to be competitive with my friends. Like that's not the vibe. That's not the vibe. Like so as you get older, you realize like you got to be able to, you know. Now life goes on. There's like this competition shit is done. So okay, maybe you try to instill some of that stuff in your kids or whatever, but I'm not gonna live my life just a competitive dude with everybody around me. And that's something that it's been an adjustment. You know what I'm saying?
I think like what you're saying, one of the funniest things is like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like you saying, like, I'm not about to be competitive around the house and I want to be able to, you know, turn that shit off and this, that, the third. Like, how you do that though? How is that working for you?
I mean, I think it's just being aware.
That's what you said. Awareness. Like for me, this is how I became aware. When I started doing like me and D Miles always, we don't consider ourselves media guys, but I guess that's what we are. So like when I started working for the Pistons and like after basketball, I worked for the Pistons, did 4 years there. I'm working with people and it's like, you know how it is, like you spend time with them. People like, damn, dude, like I never would have thought you was this cool or you was this. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, you know, after you get so cool, people, they can be real. So I'm gonna be real, though. I thought you was pretty much an asshole by the way you acted in the league. Like, and like, I definitely didn't think you was gonna be like a nice guy. Like, I thought and I'm like, man, like, people don't understand, especially in our era. It wasn't like how it is now. It wasn't no stand up after the game and change jerseys and take like, boy, we couldn't even tell each other that I like your game. Like, nah, like you ain't shit, boy. Like, you know, that's how, even if you was the goal, you was the coldest shit, we had to look at you like, shit, boy. Like, that's how that was how we moved. So I and it really, it really resonated with me because I had a few people like, man, dude, like I never would have thought you was this cool. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you this shit every time I saw, like, you know, I only saw you in the game and stuff, but like, boy, Aubrey, you always about to be with the shit with somebody or something. So I just didn't expect you to be chill. And I'm like, that was really people's perception of how I am. Like, yo, he about to fight you or something every time. And I'm like, man, bro, like for real, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but that was you was in survival mode anyway. So at the end of the day, you trying to keep your job, like this is who you are. Like this is who you are when you're on that court. This is who you are. But as you get older, it's like you realize that you can't have that. Like, look, even what you guys are doing right now, you bring unity to this. Like a young guy might see guys like we used to compete against each other.
Yeah.
Guys used to compete with and be like, man, I can't even fucking look at this dude right now. But now we older, we out of it, and it's like, yo, you can listen to somebody's story and appreciate it in a different way that when you was playing, you can't. I wouldn't even say half the shit I'm saying right now.
Not at all. It would never be on nobody's quote. We giving you no props at all.
Tell me, you talked about how you had the respect for Ticket, right? Tell me about the first time you played against KG. And I know he was talking shit. How was that?
Crazy. It changed my career. Cause I said something like he used to work out with Joe Bunasar, and I was like waiting for him all summer. I was like, damn, I can't wait to. I was a fan of his, like a big fan. And then he tried to stun on me like at the end of the game. Like I was like, I said something, and he's like, yo, get the fuck out of here, rookie. Like, don't talk to me. And then like I was like, I didn't even say much, but after that, he thought, I don't know, he must have thought I was soft or something like that, but I had to let him know every time we played, like, yo.
I remember that.
Every time, it's going to be a war now, every single time. And, you know, Ticket was a way better player than I was, you know, but it was the end of his career, and he had a knee injury. So it was like they won that championship with the Celtics, but he was already starting to slow down a little bit. But my mentality is like, yo, fuck
you out
that.
here?
I'm going
at
his
here?
neck.
Yeah,
right.
You out
you know
here?
What I'm
we
saying?
getting in that ass.
Yeah. It was all that. So
no passes out here.
No passes. Exactly. So
no pass. Nobody gonna give you no pass out in these streets now. Like, you got your game got to be A1 on point every night out. And if it ain't,
it's cool, man. He just like wrote a book and stuff. I read it. Like, man, it's just like, you know, I can look back on it now and just be like, I can see, I can respect like
why he did that, why he was the way he was.
Yeah, I mean, thank God he did that, because for real, it changed me. I was like, all right, you know what? You can't be a fan anymore
at all.
Like, you can't. None of these guys. Like, yo, I had a poster of this dude in my room, and I'm like, you know what? Now it's a whole different mindset. Now it's you. He got what you want.
Yeah.
You got to go get it. You got to get past these dudes. If you want that shiny thing at the end, you got to get past these dudes. So there's no more trying to be cool or I'm a fan or none of that.
Hey, what about this though? Because you had like a unique situation with your dad being like the superstar that he was with you growing up. How was it for you, like when you went, you know what I'm saying, you took your own path and carved out your own thing, and now you got your name, you Joakim Noah, and now your dad get to come be a fan for you, and like your dad was, he I see where you get your energy and your excitement from, because your pops be hyped. Like, how was that to see your pops at your games, and now, like you said, you set out to carve out your own path, and now you've achieved that, and now you see your pop cheering you on at your games and stuff. How was that for you?
I mean, that was really important for me. I realized that a lot of my hunger came from that, just being able to have my own name. You know, I was tired of like going home and people saying like, yo, oh, you're the son of Yannick Noah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, my name's Joakim, you know what I mean? And it was a lot. It was all the time, you know? So like, I can look back on it now and say, you know, it was the blessing of it was I was able to have an athlete, a father who was an athlete. So I was able to see what hard work looked like. You know, I saw the work that he put in the gym, and you can't put a price on that. Like watching what it takes to be a professional athlete.
Real
you know,
talk.
Like not a lot of people get that. But at the end of the day, I know that, you know, my grandfather was a soccer player. Like my name carried like a big legacy thing, you know, and
it's in the DNA, baby.
In the DNA for sure.
Yes,
you know, so at the end of the day, I was like, yo, I didn't play tennis. I was like, I want to play basketball because I wanted to be my own man.
Your favorite five? Who is your favorite 5 NBA players? Not your top 5, but your favorite 5 NBA players
Of all time, it doesn't matter.
Of all time, your favorite 5.
I got Shaq.
the eighth wonder, the Diesel.
I got Shaq, man. Like let's just make things clear. Like Shaq Daddy.
Shaq Daddy.
You got. I'm gonna go Dirk.
Dirk was mean.
Dirk, because now you got the stretch and you got the big fella in there.
That's tough. Them two right there setting it off.
And then I got MJ on one wing. I got Kobe on the other wing.
Who running this?
Over.
Who's running that?
Who's running that? Who's gonna put?
You know, we got white chocolate bringing it up. Like,
oh, okay, okay.
Shout out to my Gators, man. We gotta get.
I see you.
Straight up.
Let white chocolate get some love in there. You know what I'm saying?
White chocolate, like where's Waldo? We've been chasing him down too, and he stay right around the corner.
That boy stay that boy stay less than 10 minutes from me, and we can't nail him down.
Come on, man. White chocolate, he's the best, man. I mean, he used to come down. He used to come down and play pickup with us in the summer at Florida. Man, what this guy used to do, man, is just unbelievable. He was fun to watch, man.
The Noah's Ark Foundation.
Yeah.
Tell like how you started that, what made you start it, and how it's going now.
The Noah's Ark Foundation is a foundation that I started with my mother. It's giving the kids an outlet after school programs, letting them, you know, express themselves through sports, expressing themselves through art. My mom's an art therapist, so she goes and she does art therapy with the kids. It's beautiful, beautiful work. And then we have coaches who go in there and do the basketball thing with the guys, and we have guys who are coming in and be able to talk to them about more than basketball, life skills. Shout out to everybody at Major Adams doing all that good work, because we've been doing that all COVID. Guys are in the gym, and those guys are the real leaders, man. Guys who are in there with the kids every day. You know, you got to give them credit. Shout out Kobe Williams, everybody at Cure Violence, all the guys out there, all the leaders putting their lives on the line for the kids. You know, you got to give them credit, because they're doing that every day, and those guys are real heroes, you know.
Yes, definitely salute to them, man. And if y'all could ever use the good old Knuckleheads Q&D Miles for anything or whatever, you got our availability whenever, however, whatever. We got you. We there for the kids. We love the kids, and we with you. Whatever you want us to do, we there, bro.
You guys, man.
I would ask you one more thing too. I was thinking about like getting a blind beard, you know, going blind on the beard. I was thinking about what you think of that. You know, I know you got a few experiences in it. Like,
you know, I was at Coachella. It was my first Coachella, because we were playing in the playoffs every year. So it was my first year not playing in the playoffs. I was gone a little bit. You know, everybody in Africa, everybody do that. They just bleaching their shit. Everybody thought I was nuts after that. They were like, this dude is fucking crazy. I appreciate y'all, man.
Nah, man, listen.
Good comment.
One of the realest, man. We so appreciate it, dog. Like, I know my city, I got Q-Town, Chi-Town behind me, and I know the city gonna appreciate this one, man. We know we got love out in Paris. Paris gonna be checking this out, you feel me?
Oh, you already know.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Second Etat.
Hey.
Etat Second, you know what I mean? Those
There
boys
it
show
is.
you love, man.
Big
Straight
love,
up.
man. So, you know, we appreciate you pulling up, man. You one of our favorite players.
420, Bill La Beu, MC Wako. You know what I'm saying? We with the boys. Y'all making songs about the
Yeah, man. Much love you guys, bro.